As far as today's lecture is concerned, we are going to start with accounting standards. Now, I know we are having some topic pendings at the end of profit prior to incorporations. There are 4 questions pending in classwork. But in Zoom, it is difficult to have that big full-fledged question to be solved in the virtual environment. So we will plan that chapter will be doing in classroom. As far as final accounts of the company is concerned, that also is the chapter that will be doing in classroom. Let us hope that in 3 or 4 weeks the situation stabilize and that 2 chapters will be completing in classroom. As far as accounting standards are concerned, I think offline is not more better and online will be better and will be easily able to present all the things in a best way possible. Also, these lectures are recorded, so if someone miss out or you want to learn it again, you can always tell me. I will be happy to send you the link. Is it all right? So what we are starting today is accounting standards. And in short, they are termed as AS. AS in short are accounting standards. Is it correct? Now, where it is applicable, sir, whether it is compulsory to apply accounting standard or not, they are the basics of accounting standards, and that we are not going to do today. We are directly going to start with AS1. Once we complete 4 or 5 accounting standards, we will be going to that chapter that for which proprietorship, for which partnership, for which companies accounting standards are compulsory and for which it is voluntary or it is just advisory. So right now, forget which company should follow it. Try to understand these are the standards issued by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, which an entity should follow if they want to record books of accounts in a very good manner. Now, very good manner, right now it is a layman terms, but for purpose of understanding some first 4 accounting standard, it is absolutely all right. We are today going to start with AS1 or accounting standard 1. Now, as it is a standards which are issued by ICAI, you need to write down the exact name. Is it all right? So we have done one accounting standard AS3, cash flow statement. So whenever you write down AS3, you need to write down exact this word cash flow statement. And whenever you write down AS1, you need to write down disclosure of accounting policy. So this is the accounting standard that we are going to do today and complete today, which is nothing but disclosure of accounting policies. So if you are remembering the name, it should be exactly in this manner. You should be writing disclosure of accounting policy. Is it all right? As I told you, who need to follow it, who need not follow it, it is a different thing. Sir, how it is important from the examination point of view? You will be getting 8 to 10 marks question in accounts 1 as far as accounting standard is concerned. From the point of view of practical life, it is most important, because when you'll go to your practical life, this will be the things which will be you will be actually applying in a company, whether in articleship, in CA final level examination, or in your practical life. All right. So from practitioner point of view, this topic is one of the most important one. So let's start with AS1, disclosure of accounting policy. Is it all right? First point that we are going to learn is what are accounting policies? What are accounting policies? Sorry. Very simple. Any principles of accountancy and method to apply that principle will be termed as accounting policy. That's it. All right. So when I say I am following this policy, I am talking about my principles and method of applying that principles. Now, see what is my principle. I want to value inventory. Inventory is closing stock that we are going to do in AS2. Is it all right? What is my principle of valuing the inventory? What is my principle of valuing the inventory? Then I go by accounting standard. If there was no accounting standard, I might have developed my own principle. Is it all right? But as there is an accounting standard, AS2, which says it should be cost or NRV, net realizable value, or cost or market price, this we have learned, whichever is less. So what is this? This is a principle for recording my inventory. And even after this, you will have to decide the method by which you will be valuing the inventory. Is it all right? Method of inventory, what are they? FIFO, LIFO, SAM, VAM. These are all the methods of inventory. Is it all right? Say I follow FIFO method. So what I have decided, what is my principle of recording the inventory is cost or NRV, whichever is less. Is it all right? What method I'll use to apply this particular principle is a FIFO method, first in, first out. Is it all right? The combination of this two will become my accounting policy for recording inventory, which will be nothing but accounting policy for valuation of inventory. All right. So if someone asks me what is accounting policy, they are my accounting principles plus method of applying that accounting principles is nothing but accounting policy. All right. Let us go to second point. How to or major considerations while deciding accounting policy. What are the major considerations while deciding accounting policy? This we need to decide. Cost or market price, whichever is less. How we have decided from AS2. Is it all right? Or conservatism concept. But the thing is, the principles as well as methodology, how you will be deciding. What are your basic principles by which you should decide your accounting policy? Is it all right? First, it goes like this. Is it all right? You should decide your accounting policy so that your books of accounts shows true and fair view. Now, this particular statement you will be learning in your subject of auditing and numbers of times. Books of accounts should show true and fair view. Is it all? So we are not going into detail at this particular point of time. Is it all? And other considerations. What should be other considerations except to develop that true and fair view? What should be other considerations are this? Number one, prudence. Number two is substance over form. And number three is materiality. And I will be explaining all three concepts in detail. These are some of the concepts which you have learned at your lowest standard, that is 11th standard, under the heading of accounting concepts. Is it all right? What is prudence or conservatism? It is, you should be conservative while writing your books of accounts, So whenever you value any assets or whenever you want to record any revenue, you should be very much conservative. Also, future profits should not be recorded. Future losses should be provided for. Is it all right? When you value your inventory, cost or market value, whichever is lower. So when you are valuing asset, it is whichever is lower. If you are going to get a future gain, it should not be recorded in books of accounts. If you are going to get future losses, it should be recorded, or you should make provisions or reserves for that particular losses in books of account. That is nothing but prudence. Let us go to second point, that is substance over form. Now this is very important. Try to concentrate. See, literally this means, if you just read this, substance or logic or the fundamental or the logic behind making the rules is more important as compared to mere form or mere law, or what is literally interpreted by just reading the sentence. That's correct. Logic is more important than what is actually written. Is it all right? What does this mean? Try to understand. Let us take a simple example. Is it all right? I have purchased the property. Is it all right? And we have registered sale deed. Is it all right? So I have got that property. I have paid for that property. We have prepared a registered sale deed. Is it all right? But due to this coronavirus, the sale deed was not actually registered with registrar. Now, if you want to purchase any property or you want to sell any property, there is a rule in India that you need to get registered to registrar. Now, actually, this was not registered with registrar. Is it all right? The question arises whether I should record this purchase or not in my books of accounts, or in the seller's book, whether this should be recorded in a seller's book as a sale or not. So a simple question, whether I should record it at purchase or seller should be recording it as sales or not. Is it all right? So the answer is yes. Even if sale deed is not registered, which is a requirement by Indian law. Is it all right? But see, logically, I have purchased the property, I have got the possession, I am taking now all the risk of that property. Ultimately, only one procedure is left. And what does this rule says? Logic is more important than procedure. Logic is more important than procedure. So I should be recording it as a purchase and seller should be recording it as sale, even if the sale deed is not registered. Are you all getting it? Substance, logic is more important than form or just the rule. Is it all right? Materiality. Something which is not very much material should be ignored in books of accounts. Is it all right? Now, I'll give you a simple clause as this. Is it all right? Say my total sales is 5,000 crore. And there is a small dispute going on in the court of law, whereby if I lose this case, then I will have to pay 10,000 rupees. Now, seeing the scale of my business, 10,000 rupees is not much material for me. This also I need to pay if I lose this case. If I win this case, I will not have to pay this particular money. Is it all right? The question is arising whether this is a future loss which should be having any provision or not. And if there is a provision, how much should be the provision? Is it all right? See my answer. As the figure or as the quantum of the loss is not so material, so I will not be discussing on this question, whether to make a provision, whether to not make a provision. I will be ignoring this point because it will not have a material effect on my books of accounts true and fair view. Is it all right? So anything which is not material can be ignored as far as books of accounts is concerned. That does not mean that you should not record a salary of 10,000 rupees. Is it all right? It just means if there is a difference of 10,000 rupees in a business where the turnover is 30,000 crores and profit is 3,000 crores, rather than solving that differences, you can directly go ahead just by writing that 10,000 rupees difference as a suspense account. Is it all right? So this is a materiality concept. Whenever you decide your accounting principle policy, what is accounting policy? Accounting principle plus methods of applying that principles. You need to consider two things. Number one is your books of accounts is showing true and fair view. Another 3 points that should be considered is conservatism or prudence, substance over form, very logical. Is it all right? Logic is more important than mere form. And number 3 is materiality. If the thing is material, it should be taken into consideration. If the thing is not material, it can be ignored while drafting books of accounts. Is it all right? So major considerations while deciding accounting policies are this all things. Is it all right? We are going to next point, which are accounting assumptions. What are accounting assumptions? Why they are termed as accounting assumptions? Will be understanding more why or what are accounting assumptions and why they are important will be known once we do the disclosure requirement. Is it all right? Right now, let me first explain you the concept of accounting assumptions. There are 3 accounting assumptions. Number 1, going concern. Number 2, consistency. And number 3, accrual. So those are basic accounting assumptions. Is it all right? Now, let me first explain you this English word, which is assumption, presumption. I assume, try to understand, all of your videos are off, right? I am assuming all of you are online. You have not just started the Zoom meeting and you are sitting somewhere else. Is it all right? So this is reality, this is a fact, or it is my assumption, it is my assumption. Is it all right? So I can always tell you in the classroom that, okay, in this class, on this particular day, I have taught you this. Fundamental assumption that if you are right now showing me online, you are in the classroom and sitting in front of your mobile or in front of your monitor. Now, what are accounting assumptions? When you are drafting or preparing your books of accounts, these 3 are applied into your books of accounts. You might have applied it, you might not have applied it. But the readers of financial statement will always assume that this accounting assumptions are followed. So, if you are preparing books of accounts, you should always follow this 3 concepts. One is going concern, another is consistency, third is accrual. If you are not following this, that basic assumption of accountancy is violated. And what to do if you violate that thing? Is it all right? Let me first explain you accounting assumptions and then we'll be going into detail of its disclosure. What is going concern? You need to prepare books of accounts as if your business is going to run for an infinite period of time. You cannot prepare books of accounts that your business is going to run only for 2 years. Is it all right? So, when I depreciate my computer, my computer will run for 5 years. So I will depreciate it for 5 years. Is it all right? So your businessman says that I am going to close my books of accounts, or I am going to close the business. I am doing this business only for 1 year. So close the accounts in 1 year, or don't provide any depreciation. Write down computer expenditure in P&L account debit side. You will not do it just because which accounting principle or assumption you are following is going concern. Your business is going to run for an unlimited period of time. Let me also write down, your business is going to run for unlimited period, is nothing but going concern. Starting. Number 2 is consistency. What is consistency? Try to concentrate. If you are following one accounting principle, now what was our accounting principle in that inventory that we have done, right? Cost or NRV, whichever is less. Is it all right? So whenever you are following that accounting principle in the year 1920, the same should be followed in 2021 and the same should be followed in 21-22. Is it all right? So that your accountancy is consistent. It can be compared from 1 year to another. Depreciation method in 1920, you are following SLM. 2021, then you are doing WDV. Again in 21-22, you are following SLM. This is not done as far as accounting assumptions are concerned. Is it all right? You should prepare books of accounts on consistent basis. So if you are following cost or NRV, whichever is less, during all the years, 10, 15, 20 years, you should follow the same accounting principles. Is it all right? Accrual, mercantile system of accounting. Let me explain you this in detail. We follow this n numbers of times. If our financial year is 2019-2020, that is April 2019 to March 2020, I match income and expenditure in P&L account, which is paid or received in this year, no, which are occurred. See the word the accrual comes from. Occurred is arising in current year. Income and expenditure occurred in current year are recorded in current year. This is why you record outstanding salary, why you add it to salary, or why you consider it in current year, because it is salary which is occurred in current year. The person has given you service in current year. The expenditure has already happened in current year, just you have not paid, but it will be debited to your profit and loss account. If it is prepaid salary, see, it has not occurred. So from salary, you deduct that much portion. Is it correct? You or mercantile system of accounting, you do not record your books of accounts on cash basis, you record your books of accounts on mercantile basis. Is it correct? So this is accrual concept. You should be preparing this books of accounts. Is it all? Now I'll tell you, chartered accountants does not prepare books of accounts based upon accrual basis. Is it all right? So what is your disclosure requirement of accounting assumption? For accounting assumptions. Is it all right? If you follow it, so if you follow going concern, if you follow consistency, if you follow accrual basis of accountancy, no disclosure is required. But if you don't follow accounting assumption, as I told you, if chartered accountant does not follow accrual system of accounting, they follow cash system of accounting. Is it all right? Then what they will have to do? They will have to disclose No disclosure is required if accounting assumption is followed. If they are not followed, then disclosure is required. Chartered accountant are not following accrual system, they are following cash system. So basic assumption is violated, then it should be disclosed while preparing books of accounts in notes to accounts. Fundamental accounting assumption, which is accrual, is not followed while preparing this books of accounts. Is it all right? So try to understand readers of financial statements, investors, employees, owners. Those are the readers of financial statement. When they are reading profit and loss account, balance sheet and notes to accounts, and nothing is coming regarding accounting assumptions, they all can assume. Now you understand the word? They all can assume that all the accounting assumptions are followed. Books of accounts are prepared by the principle of going concern, consistency and accrual. And if they find out some reservations, like in chartered accountants books of accounts, it is written that accrual system is not followed and cash system is followed, they can adjust their analysis based upon that particular provision or reservation. Sorry. So these are accounting assumption. Whenever you prepare, you need to prepare based upon going concern, consistency and accrual. If you are not following, such matter should be disclosed. And see, not following is not a fun factor. Huh? There should be a strong fundamental by which you are violating this particular thing, like this. Substance over form. Is it all right? Chartered accountants, even if they record their income, sometimes they are not receiving their regular income. They are receiving income, say they have done audit before 4 years and the income is received in current year. So it is better to prepare books of accounts on cash basis, logic over form. Is it all right? So they are violating as accounting assumption? Yes. Not just for fun, on some logical basis. And that factor they should disclose in books of accounts. Is it all right? If followed, should not be disclosed. All will assume that it is followed. And if it is not followed, it should be disclosed in books of accounts. Those are fundamental accounting assumptions. Next point. We are directly going to disclosure requirement. See, this will be written in each and every accounting standard. This point will come. Disclosure requirement of this particular accounting standard. One disclosure requirement that we have done will not be discussing. Accounting assumption. What is the disclosure requirement we have done before 2 minutes? Let me ask someone, because I want to make it somewhat interactive. Anyone who can answer me? You can just put on your mic and you can just answer me. Anyone? What is disclosure requirement for accounting assumption? Yes, Abhishek?
No disclosure is required if accounting standard is followed.
Accounting assumptions are followed, yes?
Followed. And if not followed, then it should be disclosed.
Exactly. Is it all right? Yes. All of you are on Abhishek's line and I think all of you are following it. Is it all right? Number 2 is, we are talking about other points also, like accounting policy and accounting methods, and all the points should be disclosed in books of accounts. All disclosure of AS1 should be at one place in notes to accounts. Correct. So what are the disclosures? For valuation of inventory, we will be following cost or market value, whichever is less. We will be following FIFO method. Now this all should be at one place. And at which place? Notes to account. And in say if it is point number 2, then accounting, the method for valuation of inventory should be point number 3. Is it all right? Accounting assumption is not followed, should be written in the same point or in sequence of the point. It should not be so that on the heading you have written we are following, not following accrual system of accounting, we are following cash system of accounting. Is it all right? Then you draw your profit and loss account, balance sheet, and then you write down in notes to accounts we are following FIFO method of inventory. No, the everything should be written at one place. Is it all right? This is important. If there is a change in accounting policy, if there is a change in accounting policy, let me draw two parts of it. Now, what is the change in accounting policy? Try to concentrate. Is it all right? See, the method has changed from FIFO to LIFO. So, which method you are following? FIFO. From current year, you are planning to change it to LIFO. Can you change it? We'll be doing it in AS2. Is it all right? But if you are doing it, how it should be disclosed? Should it be disclosed that from FIFO now onwards we are going to apply LIFO method of evaluation of inventory? The answer is yes. It should be disclosed at one place in notes to accounts. But there is an additional disclosure requirement. Is it all right? What is that? Material effect in current year and in subsequent years should be disclosed. Correct. What is this? Try to concentrate. I'll just show you in practical life how it is done. Say in current year, as per LIFO method, your valuation of closing stock is say coming to 10 lakh 20,000. If see closing stock, if you increase your closing stock, your GP will increase, your NP will increase. Is it all right? Had you followed FIFO method, the closing stock could have been valued at 10 lakh only. Is it all right? You understand that if the method changes, the valuation will change. Is it all right? So, because there is a change in accounting policy, which is valuation of inventory method, your profit has increased by 20,000 rupees. This is a material effect in current year which should be disclosed. Is it all right? Now see how easily it can be quantified. What was the effect to profit? Is it all right? If it cannot be quantified, then what? Then such disclosure should be made that it cannot be quantified. See, what does this mean? I have converted my methodology from FIFO to LIFO, but the material effect cannot be quantified. So I cannot exactly find out what is the material effect on my books of accounts. How I will disclose this fact? I'll disclose in this manner. My method has changed from FIFO to LIFO. Due to some technical reasons, the material effect cannot be quantified and hence it is not written in this particular note. Should this be written? The answer is yes. Material effect cannot be quantified. Sorry. So this is nothing but disclosure requirement as far as AS1 is concerned. Sorry. We will be doing one practical point. It is question number 9 from your Paduka. It is a practical one practical point, and that will be done. Vakratunda Limited sold its building to another company for rupees 16 lakhs on 18th January. So V Limited has sold the building for 60 lakhs rupees on 18th of January, and they gave possession of property to the buyer. However, documentation and legal formalities are pending. The Vakratunda has not recorded the sale and has shown the amount received as advance. Do you agree with this statement? If not, explain reason thereof. Alright, yes. Legally, the building is sold when all the legal formality is completed. This is form. Which accounting principle we know? Logic over form. Have you sold the building? Yes. Have you received the money? Yes. Have you transferred the risk? We have learned it in foundation. When you sell any asset, the risk is transferred. The answer is yes. If everything is done, just the legal formality is pending, you should record your sale. And once you record your sale, this building will not appear in your books of accounts. So once you record your sale, and by which concept you are recording your sale is nothing but substance over form, logic over formality. Is it all right? And this is why you should be, you understood how the question will be asked in examination. They'll be giving you one situation. Now, right now we are doing AS1 and this is a question, and so it is easily relatable. Is it all right? But when you do all your accounting standards, you'll have to relate it to one particular accounting standard. That okay, this should not be treated as advance. It is as good as you have sold your building, even if some legal documents or formality is pending. Is it all? And you should record your sale. Is it all? So this is end of AS1. And this is end of even this particular session.